Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here with Warrior Sparta.
Hi everyone.
And we're here to announce the winner of either co-op or versus from upcoming multiplayer campaign on Hannibal at the Gates. And it was very close, very hard to actually tally up all those comments, but we did it in the end. And versus has just got it, so we'll be facing off against each other. Now, probably before you guys all just spam the comments with the factions you want, don't comment saying the faction you want, that won't count. The only way it will count is if you go into the description, you'll see two links, one that says Lionheart's factions, and the other one that says Warrior Sparta's factions. Now there'll be a link to a poll vote for each of us, and there'll be 4 factions to choose from. Now I'm sure I'm hearing you guys going, hang on, there's 5 factions in Hannibal at the Gates. Well, the reason why there's only 4 is because Warrior Sparta's doing a Syracuse single-player campaign.
Yep.
For Hannibal at the Gates, and I'm doing a Carthage campaign. So we've taken each of our respective single-player campaigns off each of our faction vote lists because I don't want to play another campaign as Carthage, and Warrior Sparta doesn't want to play another one as Syracuse.
That makes sense.
This being a versus, ideally we're looking for faction matchups such as Syracuse versus the Lusitani. That would be me playing as Syracuse, obviously not Warrior Sparta, or the Erevaci versus Rome, or Carthage versus the Lusitani, or or something like that, or even the big old me as Rome, Warrior Sparta as Carthage,
which will probably happen.
So basically, while we will ideally choose the top winning vote from each of those polls, if someone says if the winning poll is Rome versus Syracuse, we're not going to do that because Syracuse is going to get dominated by Rome straight away, and they're not far enough away, because ideally we want to be able to have, maybe the first 10 turns or something like that, expanding our own little empires, dealing with our own little internal enemies that we're probably going to come up against, and then we'll probably start attacking each other. Yeah. So please do bear that in mind with it being a versus. Vote for kind of probably the factions that are going to be ideally the furthest away, and that'll probably work the best, rather than being, say, the Lusitani versus the Erevaci, which would be over. It would just be an Iberian war, and that'd be over very quickly.
Well, we said we're going to probably do like you did in the Rambler campaigns, where you have sort of a few turns at the beginning where it'd be a non-aggression pact possibly between us, and work from there possibly. Yeah. So we'll probably give each other kind of a limit for the first 10 turns or something like that. We won't attack each other, just so we can get settled in the game, get our empire sorted, because in Hannibal at the Gates, pretty much I think every faction has its own little issues to start with that's right.
Moving forward. So we want to try and minimise as many issues as possible, so that we can build up a little bit, have some great big old battles, clash, and it should be good fun.
Call me a cynic though. I reckon that you're going to be seeking swift vengeance on me on the back of the Rambler campaign. So I think so. Thanks very much, guys. You're gonna get my ass kicked all over the Mediterranean byline, I'm sure, in this Let's Play. But I mean, thanks very much for doing this, because I think really this is going to be a great campaign. I'm really looking forward to it. I think
it's going to be really good fun. It's
pretty epic, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a great setting. It's a great period for it. And
who do you want to go as if you were if you could choose one? If
I actually really want to play as Syracuse.
Yeah, they're great to play as in the campaign that I've got going.
I've always loved starting as factions that just have one territory or something like that, expanding and making a huge empire out of it.
I mean, I'd like to do it as a Carthage actually, because from what I've seen in your campaign, they are an interesting faction to start with. I'd never played as Carthage at all, so it'd be interesting to have, as you said, there's so many areas that they hold at the beginning of the actual campaign. To manage that would be pretty tricky, I think. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah,
so, we could have a classic Carthage versus Rome matchup then.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it to you guys to vote. So the way you can vote is in the description. Follow each link. That'll be open until about Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, midnight sort of thing on Wednesday. So early Thursday morning. We'll then tally up the votes and then get together as soon as possible at the end of this coming week to start recording a few parts.
Cool.
And then you're probably going to be asking, when's it going to be out? What schedule? It's going to be like an irregular series, so we'll get together as often as we can. Thankfully, we're in the same time zone because we live in the same country.
Yeah.
So we should be able to, do at least maybe 2-3 parts a week, something like that. It all depends on, our other series and what we're doing. But ideally, you'll get at least 1 part a week, probably more than that, though. If There is one thing you guys do want to start commenting, though, in the comments of this video. It's hashtag Team Lionheart or hashtag Team Warrior Sparta.
Yeah, Warrior Sparta, yeah.
So get going with those hashtags. Get going on with them on Twitter as well.
Don't forget about the competition as well we're going to be doing, aren't we, in the first episode?
Yes. In the first episode, we are going to both be giving away a copy of Hannibal at the Gates. Stay tuned for that first part. We'll do a little introduction of how you can basically do it. It'll probably be done via Twitter, just because we can use hashtags on there and it's easy to follow, and YouTube doesn't like people sort of doing giveaways as such. It's a bit of a grey area, whereas Twitter, we're fine to use that platform. So stay tuned, make sure you follow us on Twitter, and make sure you watch that first part.
Yeah, enjoy Game of Thrones, by the way, as well, because I know I will be.
Oh god, yeah, that's coming out soon.
Yeah, excellent. Can't wait for that.
It all begins soon.
Winter is coming. Right, thank you very much.
Ciao for now, guys.
Take care.